Hey, what's going on? Lukey, and we're here to do my tips and predictions for round 16 of the 2022 NRL season. Now, State of Origin Game 2 has been and gone, so we're not going to be talking about that, but obviously Origin does play a part in these sort of games. A lot of the talk this round is going to be about the fact that Latrell Mitchell is back for the Rabbitohs and who's going to be playing in the centres and what do Queensland do, what do New South Wales do. So there's always going to be a topic. It's always going to be relevant in the NRL, regardless if it's the week of the actual Origin or not. It's just how it is. So we probably will talk little bits about it, but for the most part, we're not really going to be talking about Origin. We're here to talk about round 16. And the very first game of round 16 is the Battle of Brookvale, although it's not really the same sort of standard as it used to be, but it's mainly Warringah Seagulls taking on the Melbourne Storm. Now, for me, this one, I feel like it is pretty clear-cut on who's going to win this one. Let me just check if Pappenhausen is back. He should be back for the Storm at this point. He's actually not. Is he on extended bench? Extended bench. So you would expect that Ryan Pappenhausen is going to play. They've named... I don't know why teams do this. We all know he's going to play. Nick Meaney's named at fullback, but... you'd assume Meaney moves to the wing and then Pappenhausen is at fullback. And no Trbojevic for Manly. I'm not going to say no Manly, but coming up against the Storm, it is definitely going to be a hard ask. So realistically, Melbourne are going to win this one 9 times out of 10. Maybe this is going to be the one time Manly does win. It's at Brookvale. If they're ever going to win, it's going to be at Brookvale. And I could easily see them standing up and putting in a good performance, but this is the Melbourne Storm after all, and I'm going to be tipping the Melbourne Storm. And a lot of those boys are going to be backing up from State of Origin as well, and I expect them to have a pretty decent performance. So, yeah, I'm expecting Storm to win. I'm going to say 13 plus, actually. Move on to the next game. Newcastle Knights, Gold Coast Titans. Very, very tough one. Speaking of Origin, Kalen Ponga is not playing. He's out due to concussion. Who have they actually named at fullback? They've got Tex Hoy playing in at fullback. For me, I really don't know where to go on this one because both of these sides haven't really done too much. Obviously, Titans are in it last, literally. The Knights are a team who could be in last with how they've played at times this year. It's a home game for the Knights. The crowd's going to be there. Are they going to spur them on? Most likely. But at the same time, the Titans are just... I don't know. Is David Fafita back yet? Yep, he is. So David Fafita is back this week. He's on the bench. So that's a big inclusion for them. Whether he's fully fit, I don't know. But it's a big inclusion. And I think he will add a lot to the side. We all know how good David Fafita is. The fact that he wasn't playing State of Origin, I wasn't named in the squad. I know he's injured, but it was quite shocking to me. Despite, he's not having the best season, obviously, but he is still super damaging. And I really don't understand what the Titans are doing with him. I don't know what they're trying to do position-wise or, minutes-wise. It just feels very strange. But just in terms of this game, I can see Titans winning. I can see the Knights winning. I feel like this might be one of the toughest ones because both teams are just pretty bad at the moment. I'm going to go the Knights just because they're the home side. I feel like maybe the home crowd might get them home. Although Titans, a very good side. Milford and Clune don't really do too much for me in the halves. Chris Randall there. Although Milford did have a pretty good game in the international break. So maybe that's going to spur him on a little bit. So let's go Knights 1-12. I think it's going to be a close one. Moving on to the Panthers and the Roosters. This one for me is match of the round. Now, not in terms of table. Roosters aren't even in the top 8, which is just crazy considering where I thought they would be. I thought they were going to win the grand final this year. There's a lot of talk about Matt Lodge signing for them as well. Obviously won't be playing this week, but Penrith up against the Roosters. I feel like if anything's going to kick the Roosters into gear, it's going to be a game against the Panthers. I feel like just coming up against a quality opposition, I think will bring the best out of the Roosters. In saying that, though, they did get pretty close to beating the Eels, but at the same time, they lost, and that's the main thing. And Penrith just keep on winning. That's what they just keep doing, and I think they're going to keep on winning again. I think they're going to win this one. I don't want to say 13 plus. I'm going to say 1-12. I think it will be fairly close. 1 versus 9, I don't think really represents this game, but at the same time, it kind of does because Roosters have been super off this year. Probably one of the worst years they've had in one of the better rosters they've had, I guess. I don't know. But, Penrith. I don't really need to say too much about Penrith. We all know they're good. Cleary, man of the match this past Sunday, I should say. Just outstanding. Jerome Miles, really good. All the guys who had lots of question marks over them in Origin, they really stood up, and I think they'll stand up again. Panthers to win this one, 1-12. Moving on to my Bulldogs up against the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. Bulldogs in a bit of a hot streak at the moment, and that hot streak is 2 wins and a week off in between. But at the same time, this is 2 wins that we haven't done in a long, long time. A lot of confidence around the boys, I would imagine. So I think you can take that into the game. Sharks have been sort of hot and cold. They haven't been bad, but they haven't been really, really good. Just looking at the lineups, there's no one really in or out that's a massive difference. For me, honestly, I feel like Sharks will win this one, but I feel like it'll be very competitive. I think Sharks win this 1-12. I'd love to sit here and say Bulldogs go 3 in a row. I really would. I really would. And maybe there's a little bit of bias because I don't want to say that. But yeah, I think the Sharks are going to win this one. I mean, they're a good side. They are a very, very good side. Although they're not a top 4 side, they are a very, very good side. And they will be super hard to beat. But home crowd has been absolutely electric. I was there for the last one. Home crowd has been killer for like the Tigers, for the Eels. Like, it's been really, really good to see. So maybe the Dogs are back. Maybe the Entertainers are back. Maybe the Sharks are back and they're going to win. Sharks are going to win 1-12 in my opinion. Moving on to the next game, which is the North Queensland Cowboys up against the Brisbane Broncos. This is a huge game. This is a huge, huge game. Just have a look. Adam Reynolds is there for the Broncos. Ezra Mann is the 5'8". So sort of settled on that. I know Tyson Gamble's really good, but obviously he's injured. Ezra Mann, I think, is the best option. You got Tamari Martin at fullback. He's made that his home. Look, I do like the Broncos side. They've sort of slipped off a little bit, but that was going to happen because of injuries and origin and all that sort of stuff. The Cowboys, though, absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. It's crazy how good they're actually going. And you'd think a lot of them are going to take a lot more confidence out of being in the origin camp. Even with their past win, like, it was a game that I thought they are done. I thought Manly had them. It was in the bag. And then all of a sudden, Val Holmes goes and scores. And they do like the mad comeback. So, look, even when you think you get the Cowboys beat, they seem to find a way to win. That's just the Cowboys this year. It's really weird to say because this has not been the Cowboys for quite some time. Used to be back in the days of Thurston and Michael Morgan and all that, but not so much these days. But here they are. Here they are in the top 4. Where are they exactly at? They're in 3rd. It's 3rd up against 5th. So it's going to be a very, very good clash. Obviously, both of these sides were in the top 4 at one point. Broncos, like I said, slipped off a little bit, but for me, Cowboys at home, I think they are going to win this one. I think it's going to be super competitive. I think Broncos will be in the game, could possibly be leading at times. But for me, Cowboys are going to win this one 1-12. I think it's just going to be that close. I don't think it's going to be like a blowout or anything. Now moving on to the last game of Super Saturday. It sees the South Sydney Rabbitohs taking on the Parramatta Eels. Another juicy clash. Another one. Obviously, a lot of the talk from the previous Rabbitohs game was how bad they were against the Dragons. So, I don't know. It's like the Rabbitohs. You see them and you immediately go, oh, they're the Rabbitohs. They're a really good side. But then if you actually watch them, they are awful at times. They are genuinely awful. They got towered up by the Dragons. They're never in it. Ilias got hooked. Let me just check if he's actually been named. I'm assuming he has been named. Yeah, he's been named. Everything about this says it's going to be an Eels win. But because of that, I'm tempted to say the Rabbitohs because Eels don't tend... I don't know. When Eels can play a top side, they really step up. When they take on a side who is struggling a bit, like the Rabbitohs, they seem to play them into form. It's just the Eels' way up. We saw that with the Bulldogs a couple of weeks ago. In saying that, though, Eels are going to win this one. I think they're going to win this one. I think they're going to win it 13+. I think it'll be competitive for a little while, but I think the Eels will definitely run away with this one. Yeah. I just can't tip the Rabbitohs. I've tipped them too many times, and I've been burnt too many times. At my work tipping comp, I feel like all the times that I've lost points, it's all been the Rabbitohs. Bloody Rabbitohs. I'm moving on to the next game, which is the New Zealand Warriors taking on the West Tigers. The return to New Zealand. The Warriors are back. The Warriors are they better than ever? Probably not. But they are back in New Zealand, and what an opponent to have in your first game in New Zealand. You got the West Tigers who can't beat anybody at this point. Just looking at the Tigers lineup, just see is Brooks there? Yes, he is. James Roberts back into the side, a little bit surprising, but also like not surprising because their selections are super weird. Adam Dewey on the bench. I don't understand if Adam Dewey's fit. Why are you playing your best player on the bench, Tigers? Come on, seriously. For that reason, I think they should lose. They deserve to lose. Brett Morley, I'd like to see him get a gig as a coach, but this ain't it. I think Warriors going to win this one. Home crowd's going to spur them on. I've seen it go both ways, where it's how like the Bulldogs playing Belmore. I've seen it happen when they win and it goes crazy, and I've also seen them get decimated and the crowd is just super silent. But I think it's going to be a great crowd. I think it's going to be electric. I think it's going to be a good result for the Warriors. 13+. Let's go. Now moving on to the last game of the round, which sees the St. George Illawarra Dragons taking on the Canberra Raiders. I think it's going to be a fairly good game. Obviously, all the talk. Remember all the talk of the hoodoo? It's not there anymore, but all the talk of the hoodoo between these two sides. So there was a little bit of a rivalry. Not so much these days, I would say, but at the same time, I think it's going to be a fairly decent game. Obviously, Dragons take a lot of confidence out of their game this past week. When they played last time. And then also the Raiders, like they've been fairly decent. They haven't found themselves in the top 8, but they're sort of in amongst it. Same with the Dragons. Dragons are actually in the top 8. One thing to note is that Jack White, and although he didn't play State of Origin, he has been named to play. I mean, he was out due to COVID, so I guess he just has to get through the 7 days or whatever it is these days. So Jack Whiten is back into the side. I'm expecting him to have a big impact on the game. But I will say, Benny Hunt, whenever he's there for the Dragons, I expect the Dragons to at least be half decent, and I'm actually expecting the Dragons to win this one. I don't know if you would class that as an upset, but a home game for them. Canberra travelling, they don't travel too well, and Dragons were very impressive against the Rabbitohs. So for me, I've got to go with where the form is, and I feel like the form is with the Dragons currently. They're in the top 8. They're sort of flying under the radar a little bit because one week they're really good, the next week they're really bad, but they are in the top 8, and I guess they're in the top 8 for a reason. And that reason is the Bulldogs started off really slow. But regardless, the Dragons think they're going to win this one. I'm going to say 1-12. I feel like it'll be fairly competitive. I said that about a fair few of them. But that's just how this round is. I feel like the Dragons can win this one 1-12. You heard it here first. So it's probably going to be wrong. But regardless, hopefully you did enjoy my tips and predictions for round 16. Let me know in the comment section below. What are your tips and predictions? Do you like mine? Do you hate them? Do you dislike them? Do you rate them? I think that's like my little saying now. But let me know in the comment section below what are your thoughts on my tips, and give your own ones as well. Would love to see them. Maybe I might steal a couple of your tips. Anyways, guys, hopefully you did enjoy this one. If you did, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to use the notification bell. Don't rely on those sub boxes. Use the notification bell and never miss any of my videos. Also, while you're at it, chuck me a follow on social media. It's on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke and YT for the most part. My Facebook's Mr. Luke, but everything else, including Snapchat, including TikTok, is Mr. Luke and YT. Give me a follow, give me an ad. Also, go ahead and become a member of the channel. We have got so many new members. Shout out King Aurelia, shout out Mac Galaxy for doing all the donations and that. But if you would like to become a member, click on the link in the description below. You get exclusive perks, you can use exclusive emojis. Might start doing the member streams and all that sort of stuff. So go ahead and click on the link in the description below. Take a look at all the tiers, pick out one, become a member of the channel and support me. Anyways, I'm going to end things here. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more content on the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. See yous.